Hey guys, Mike from CoachMikeMcDonald.com here. In today's video, just wanted to answer the question of how do you overcome the I don't know anyone objection in network marketing. So, a couple things to keep in mind before I get into overcoming this objection. One thing to really understand in network marketing when you're prospecting and recruiting for business builders is that you're sorting, not selling. Where a lot of times what people will do is they'll share the business with someone and they'll try and convince someone to join the business part of what they do that isn't really interested and isn't really a good fit. So again, one thing to keep in mind is you want to work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. So if somebody says something like, oh, well, I don't know anybody, that may just be their polite way of saying they're not really interested in the business. So you really want to determine that before you try and get them started on the business side. But at the same time, if they're not interested in the business, that's totally cool. Just have them get started as a customer. One thing that I really like to do is share the business with people or lead with the business because again, they get exposed to both your product and service and the business opportunity. And if the business isn't for them, that's cool. A lot of times they'll just get started as a customer because you probably have good products with your company. So again, that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to how do you overcome that objection when someone says they don't know anybody, the first thing you want to do is isolate the objection. So it might go something like this. Hey, I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from saying that. And I know why you would feel that way. I'm just curious if I'm understanding right. So what you're saying is you like everything, you'd want to get started, the product makes sense, the business makes sense, but your main concern is that you just don't know enough people to be successful in this. Is that what I'm hearing, or is there something else that'd be holding you back from getting started today? So again, you're going to determine if, hey, that's the real objection, or maybe that's just something that they're throwing out there and they're not telling you their real objection, or maybe again, that's their polite way of saying no. Because again, they might say, oh, you know what, I'm not really even interested in doing the business. Or they might say, yeah, I just don't think I know enough people. My network's not that big that I could be successful in that. And so at that point, what you want to do once you've isolated that objection is to, again, lead with a story. So for example, I would say something like, hey, you know what, I get it. I completely understand. I know how you feel. When I first saw this, I felt the same way. And I was pretty much an introverted video game nerd. When I saw the industry, I didn't have a ton of friends or a huge network or a huge circle of influence, so I didn't know if I could really be successful in this either. And what I found though is that when I plugged into the system, went to the trainings, learned the skill set of how to prospect and recruit, it didn't necessarily matter how big of a network I personally had, where I could build a team and an organization through either friends and family, people I didn't know, acquaintances, people I met out and about brand new. I learned the skill set of how to prospect and recruit, so it didn't really matter where people came from. So whether I knew personally people that did this, or I found them through prospecting and recruiting, either online or offline, meeting people out and about, I could still be successful in the business, and I was able to build a large organization doing that. So if we could show you a way that you could build a successful business regardless of how many of your close friends and family got started, would you be ready to get started today? So again, in that instance, you isolated the objection, you found out that, hey, that's the real reason why they aren't getting started right now. You led with a story and how someone overcame that objection and still went out and created success in their business. And then again, you asked with a closing question, if you could show them how they could do the same thing, would they be ready to get started? And again, at that point, they're going to say yes or no. If they say yes, great, help them get started and then plug them into the system and help them start getting results. If they said no, hey, you know what, you can't get them all. It's totally cool. Move on to the next person. But like I said, I'd recommend helping them get started as a customer with your product and service because again, I'm sure you believe in it. I'm sure it gets great results, and you're going to help a lot of people that way too. And it's still win-win for everybody. So again, hopefully you guys got some benefit and value out of this video. If you did, feel free to comment and share. And again, one thing that I found a lot of network marketers and home business owners struggle with is inviting, where if you don't get people in the seats to see your presentation, no one's going to get started. So that's the key foundation to success in any business, is getting people in front of your presentation. So if you're struggling in that, be sure to head on over to coachmikemcdonald.com and enter your name and email. You're going to get access to my free audio training on the 14 proven keys to inviting for your business. So learn the right way to invite and get more people to see your presentation, which again is going to lead to a lot more results in your business. So for access to that, head on over to coachmikemcdonald.com and enter your name and email, and you'll get access to that audio training. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk to you more soon.